viewers, and welcome back to Woman to Woman. I want you today to go and get your coffee, get your tea, settle into your couch because we're going to have an inspiring show this evening. Now, today I have with me some lovely ladies. I have Apostle Sandra Holford.
Hello.
Say hi to our viewers. I have Danielle Norris.
Hi there.
And these two ladies are my co-hosts today. And then our special guest, Annette Lazare. Say hello to everybody, Annette.
Hello. Hello.
All right, before we get into today's show, I need to mention our sponsors. We're so grateful for their support. And today's episode is sponsored by the Healing Power of Touch Skincare Clinic and Spa. You can contact them at 429-1620 or follow them on Facebook at the Healing Power of Touch Spas and Instagram at the Healing Power of Touch to find out more about their spa services. Now, sickness is something that affects so many women all across the world. It is something that causes life changes and challenges, but in spite of the challenges and the changes and the adjustments, there are so many stories of triumph and overcoming. And Annette is going to share her story with us today. Before she gets into that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. Annette is a qualified nurse midwife, so she's in the business of birthing, an important business for us ladies. And she's also an entrepreneur. She's been a wife for the past 46, let me say that again, 46, just so you heard it, years. And I just feel like I need to pause right there because 46 years, I want some of that anointing. Yes, Lord. Yes, 46 years.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So she is also the mother of 2 sons and 2 daughters. And she is Trinidadian by birth, but has lived in Barbados for 46 years.
As long as I've been married.
Annette, welcome to the show today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Now, we hear so much when we talk about cancer. We hear about early detection and the need for looking out for the early signs and that kind of thing. Can you tell us a bit about what your experience was like in the early stages of your sickness? Did you find a lump? How did that go for you?
No lumps.
Okay.
I had some lumps, lumps under my arms, like my glands under my arms. And there is something called cat scratch disease, but I haven't got any cats, so I wondered, what is this? I was in total denial. Mm-hmm. So I went to a friend of mine who is a doctor, and I said to him, can you feel this under my arm? He says, I don't know what it is, but you better go and see Selma Jackman. So I said, okay. So I called. I kind of knew her well, working in the hospital, so I went and I called her, and I spoke with her, and she told me that she's going on vacation now, so when she comes back, she will see me. 3 weeks gone, and she came back, and I had a mammogram done, and it showed nothing. So I'm feeling good, but I'm still feeling uneasy because I know something had to be wrong. However, when she came back, we did a biopsy, which took a longer time than she expected because it was deep. And so a couple of weeks went by and I'm not hearing anything. So I called up the lab and I said to the doctor, it's 3 weeks gone now and I've had a biopsy done, and what's happening? He said, okay, I will check on it for you, and he did. And of course, it went to my doctor. Now, working in hospitals, I know what it's like. So if nothing is wrong, nobody calls you. But then she called me for an appointment. So I said, okay. So I went in for the appointment, and I sat in a chair not in the office, in the foyer kind of thing, because it was different at that time. And she passed me up and down, and I said, but why is she passing me, not looking at me? So I said to her, I'm here. She said, oh yes, you're here, come into the office. So I went to the office and I sat down and I said to her, I've got cancer, right? Told her. She says, yes. Well, I think everybody heard me at the hospital. I bawled, I screamed, I mean, like I was. This is downstairs in the private entrance at that time, and I cried, I bawled, I screamed, and she just started looking at me like this. And when I said, "But why me?" She said, "Why not you?" And I said, "Okay." So what do we have to do now? She says, "Well, you know, to took up my breast like next week." She says, "No, it's a process." I said, "Okay. You got to call the ENT surgeon because my father had cancer of the esophagus. ENT surgeon, you got to do this, you got to do that." I said, "All of that?" She says, "Yes, you got to do all of that before you do anything." So I said, "Okay." So I did went through the whole process of doing everything and all that. Let me back up here. Yes. I got the results from he called and of course I got the results. And it was my husband's birthday, the 19th of June, 1991.
Wow. That's
And
actually my birthday.
19th of June. And we went on behind the drill hall. And this is the first time I saw my husband cry. He said, "Oh, we're going to do this together." And from there, we just got wheels in motion, you know.
Yes.
And
I could imagine that the emotions would have been high.
oh, it
at the
was
time.
high. It was rough. And of course, I went home and started packing my clothes to give it away. I'm going to die now, right?
Wow.
Wow.
So started packing clothes to give away to my friends because I think I'd gone off a little bit. But yeah, it's having breast cancer in those days was very traumatic.
Can you tell us a bit more about your feelings at the time and how you coped with those feelings?
Oh, do you know, I am not sure. It was very difficult because I had to go through this like a couple of weeks before I had the surgery. So I had to pull on a lot of people, pull on friends. My mother, she came over and, you know, and I had some close friends who I spoke with, of course. All they can do is pray for me because nothing else they can do. And it's very traumatic to hear that you've got breast cancer. You know,
Yes,
it
I can
is.
imagine.
And having 4 young children, well, not young, 4 children, I was 49 years old at the time. It was very traumatic.
And
But
were you
God.
given-
But God.
But God.
It's
Wow.
true. At the time, were you given any indication of what stage you were at?
Stage 2.
Stage 2. Okay.
Once it
And-
begins to spread, it's always a stage 2.
How did it affect your family and your friends? You said you leaned on them for support at the time. How
Yeah.
did they react to the news? Aside from your husband, you mentioned that he cried.
Yeah.
What about the rest of the family? How did the children take
Well,
it?
my biggest daughter, she was in England at the time studying, and the other ones, they were like younger. They didn't, but I had some good friends who really stick with me and, you know, stick close to me. Did I know you that time?
I can't remember.
No. I've got a friend like Pat and Grace and, you know, yeah. And then I had some friends who I also nursed with, like Myrtlyn and Dorothea. You know, they were friends who were close to me and, you know, who I shared stuff with. I don't think I knew you at that time, no. Yeah, but I'm a trooper. You know, I kind of get over that period, you know, and I wanted to get the breast off, you know, and 3 weeks time the breast was off.
Wow.
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 But
I wanted-
continuing in the conversation,
Mm,
I like what you said about friends.
yeah,
Having friends surrounding you.
very
and
important.
the importance of relationships
Very important.
at that point in time.
Very important.
You know, the friends were women.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the importance of having women in your life in these important times, especially sickness, because advocate that sickness is a very lonely road. So it was good to have some friends.
Oh yeah, it was good to have some women in your life, you know, and praying women too, because these women prayed with me and prayed for me and stuff like that and encouraged me, you know. Yeah, women are good to have women in your life, and I love people, you know, and people gravitate towards me a lot because of maybe my personality, I suppose. So I had friends who really rallied around me at that time. Because when I opened my eyes at the hospital after the surgery, I had a room full of people.
Wow.
I mean, there's people, I mean, like, I was like, oh, I mean, it was full of people in the room, you know, a lot of women were there, you know, and that was so beautiful.
Wow.
That was so beautiful. I mean, about 10 people in the room, was it more than that?
Wow.
When I opened my eyes after anesthetic, it was just
that you're
awesome.
special.
Yeah, God. Yeah, it was. And they rallied around me through the whole process, you know, everybody was there, coming to visit me, and I got through this pretty quickly.
Okay.
I didn't linger. I do what I had to do, you know, operation, tubes here, there, everywhere, and, you know, but I got through that pretty quickly, you know. Yeah.
So you had the operation, you know, having to lose breasts, which is a part of your physical makeup, the attraction of a woman. Before we get into treatment, because we're going to talk about the treatments and all that, but I want to talk a little bit more about, you know, having to lose a breast, which is a part of a woman's beauty, outside, external beauty. You know, how do you felt about this, you know, having to lose one of your breasts?
Well, I kind of made a joke of it because I didn't have much breast anyway. So, you know, but still, you know, it's, you kind of, you know, you're missing, something is missing. But, well, after the breast came off and stuff like that, and my husband used to call me Wani. He made a joke of it too. He calls me Wani, because I only have one breast, right?
Clearly having a sense of humor helps just make this whole process easier.
He calls me Wani. He used to call me Wani. Yeah, we just rallied around it. I mean, like, prosthesis came in, and I used the prosthesis for a while, and I thought, you see me, I will never go and have any surgery, I'm going to have any reconstruction because I don't want to back under surgery again. So I said, I'm going to just go with this thing, which I hated. But yeah, it was okay. After I accepted it, I just dealt with it, you know.
Okay.
I just dealt with it. And I used to go to the hospital, and I met other women who were likewise, and we kind of form a bond, you know.
Okay.
And so we kind of encourage each other.
Okay.
But yes, I think I handled it pretty well.
Okay.
It sure sounds that way.
Yeah, I think I handled it pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, looking back now, and then the treatments come after.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about the treatment.
Right.
That you had to
Right. After that, now you had to go and you had to have things like chemotherapy and radiotherapy. Well, that one was a bit hard on me because the chemotherapy made you quite nauseous, you know, and that was for a long, you know, I don't remember, a long period of time, like once a week or once every 2 weeks. And this is a lot of time now, 20-something years, 29 years gone, I don't remember much of that. But however, I had the chemotherapy and radiotherapy. I can't remember which one came first, but I had that. And then we just sort of moved on from there, and then taking the blood tests and having my weekly, my checkups afterwards, and everything was fine. And, you know, and they said, well, this is it, you know, you don't have to come back, and, you know, this.
Okay.
Ordeal is over.
Well, it's never over. It's never over.
So how did it affect
It's never
your
over.
physical thing? Because I've heard, you know, the changes
It's never
in loss
over.
of hair,
Yeah.
you know, your nails.
Never lost my hair.
Wow.
Never lost
Wow.
my hair.
That's a testimony in itself.
My hands got darker. I lost weight, but I never lost my hair. And I'm losing the hair now, but I never lost my hair then. And yeah, the treatment was a bit rough. The nausea and the vomiting, and you know, and I used to go up there. I used to go up there alone. I got in the car and drove myself to the hospital and get my treatment, and went back home. And so one day, my daughter said, "Mommy, I want to come with you," because she had come home at this time and having my treatment. "Mommy, you did this alone?" I said, "Yeah." Every day, every time I go alone, she said, how could you do this alone? It's okay. You know, I have to do it. So I just did it alone. You know, nobody went with me. She said, I cannot believe you did this on your own. Just did it.
And I'm sure it affected your finances and, you know.
Well, yes, yes, it's a bit expensive, yeah. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do, you know, and we managed. We managed. It was rough, but we managed.
Okay.
My husband's a wonderful man.
Okay.
He is a wonderful husband. He
Wow.
just jumped in there and just did what he had to do, you
Wow.
know.
So the support of not only your friends and your family, but even your husband.
Yeah, he was good. Whatever it takes, he was there for me,
Okay.
you know.
So did, as the years, you know, continue, did it affect your, I know that you said that, you know, you can live without this breast and all of that, but I'm going in a little bit personal now, because you know that men are very visual with what they see, okay? And, you know, I know that you're saying that there's no more breasts, you know, one breast is gone, and that is a part of attraction. You know, how did, you know, he reacted along the way?
You know what? He never showed any. Everything went on as usual. He never.
I just caught the vision of that actually.
He never really showed any disgust or look at me. You know, he was fine. Everything was good. I mean, like, duh. You know, I didn't have a problem, honestly. I never had a sexual problem or anything. I mean, like, just life just continued.
Okay.
And
But-
for you,
but-
it didn't
but-
inundate.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
it didn't inundate how you felt about yourself, how you felt about your own sexiness.
I felt,
Just getting there.
Yeah.
yes, that bothered me for a while, and because I love, well, I used to wear a lot of strapless clothes, and you couldn't do that. But I'll give you a story. I started back to work now, and I'm going to work, and I'm in the shop, and I bent down to pick up something on the floor, and this thing in here dropped out, popped out on the floor. So in one motion, I just swoop it up, nobody saw, and slip it back in. I say, okay, this is time to do something about this thing. So I called up Crookendale, and I said to him, you know, I have to do something about this one breast thing because it's not working for me. So I had reconstructive surgery. So I do have two breasts now.
Wow.
Yes, I could wear all my strapless stuff and, you know, my low necks and stuff, you know. Yeah, I did have it. And that one was very traumatic, though. That one was hard because I got quite ill having that surgery. Quite ill. Because having a breast removed is just an appendage and doesn't really make you sick. It's just removal. But the surgery for the reconstructive surgery was tough because they use your tummy. They take your fat off your tummy,
Oh wow.
and it's a kind of a transflap and bring it up and stuff. And he did it and he went away. He traveled, and my abdomen burst. So I had to suffer for quite a while. And when he came back from overseas, because once you're a private doctor, private patient, nobody touches you.
Okay. Okay.
So I had to wait till he came back to Barbados and had a 9-hour surgery to get, because at that time it had adhesions and everything stepped in. So yeah. But I'm here.
Yeah. Wow.
It has been rough, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
had my good times, but sometimes were very rough. That part of my life was rough, really rough. Yeah, but as I said, I'm here.
You came to the decision to remove the breast very quickly.
Yeah.
Why did you feel that you came to that so quickly?
Because, as I said, I have a nursing background,
Okay.
and I know cancer can spread. And if you this is me. I am not going to any homeopathic people and drinking this eye taken off the breast. So cancer of the breast, take it off. And I tell anybody that
Wow.
if I mean, I've had friends who had breast cancer. I had a very good friend. She was a nurse as well, and she had breast cancer, and she decided to go to one of these places on the farm overseas to do this homeopathic thing, and it did not work for her. And she told me a couple of years after, when she was dying, she says, I should have taken the breast off because it's no good to me, and I'm dying. And she did die because she didn't have take off the breast. You have breast cancer, take the breast off. I don't even believe in the lumpectomies. For me, right? Take off the breast. It depends. And again, it depends. Where the lump is and all that. And lumpectomies do work, right? But for me, I wanted that breast off because they couldn't even find there was no lump, and even when they went into surgery, could hardly find where the cancer was. It was hidden behind somewhere, and it was like a split pea. It was so small, but already did some damage. It already spread.
Wow.
So I'm an advocate for taking up the breast. For me, right? Everybody's different, but it's how I felt about it. Take up the breast.
Okay, so that was 29 years ago that you went through this experience. How has that impacted your quality of life since then?
Oh, girl, I'm living.
Do you feel you're living more than you did before the experience? Do you feel like more lively?
Yeah, of course. Life is is a transition. I mean, I'm getting older now. I have more. My kids are bigger. The older, everybody's gone. So I'm beginning to live, and I'm enjoying my life. I mean, like, hey, girl, there was pleasure getting old,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, I look forward to it. I look forward to it then.
Because I'm really living, I'm really enjoying my life. I'm really enjoying my life.
And we can see that. We can see that even here while you're sitting with us. Now, you mentioned earlier, though, that it's never over.
It's never over.
So how do you manage any fears that you might have of that cancer returning?
Yes, the fears do come along. My dear friend tells me, what are you worried? What are you worried about? You're all right. She's my great advocate. She's real good for me. No. I do get little fears. I mean, like a couple of years ago, I had a lump in my neck. And God bless his soul, my friend, Dr. Vincent Clark. Vincent, I got a lump in my neck. He said, come and see me. I went to him. And nothing is wrong with you. It's just a life with lamb. I said, okay. You do have these fears. I mean, I will. It will be a lie to tell you I do not fear. I do have fears occasionally. If I have this, recently I had surgery again. Had something growing in my stomach, and had to have surgery. And when I had it, when it came up, I did not. I thought it was. I didn't know anything about it.
Right.
Because I went in for something else and they showed up, and when the doctor came and told me, came to the house and told me that he called me and told me, are you home? And I said, yes. He said, I'm coming. I thought to myself, oh my God.
Wow.
So by this time my knees are weak, I'm falling on the floor. I cannot stand up, and he was on his way. So before I can see Jack Robertson, he was at the door. And I'm saying, what happened? He says, Auntie Annette, go and sit down. Sit down. I said, okay, come and sit down. So I sat down, and Eric was there with me too, and I said, will you tell me what's the matter, please? I'm total mess now. He says, okay. What he went in to look for is nothing like that. We found a growth on your stomach. But it looks as if it's benign. But you have to remove it, and you're going to do it quickly. So, come to a biopsy, like whatever day it is, and we're going to go from there. So we did that. We went in for the biopsy, and the biopsy said it was benign, and proceeded to have the surgery. That was done on the 7th of September last year. So I'm over that too.
Wow.
I've had five surgeries in my life.
That's hurdle after hurdle there.
Hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. But you know what? I'm still here.
Still here. Still here. That's
5
definitely a story of
surgeries,
victory.
girl. It
That's
has been a rough road. You know, it has been really a rough road. But I'm resilient. I can move on. You know, I'm not telling you I don't hurt. I'm not telling you that I do not worry about things. Of course I do. You know, but I have a way of just moving on.
So I have a question for you. How did that affect your faith? I remember at the beginning you said, God, why me? You know, and then getting over the breast cancer part of it, and then realizing you now have this new growth in your stomach. How did that affect your faith in God and your trust in Him? Did you have any challenge in that area?
No, you know, with her around me, can't have no challenge. She's on my back all the time. You're going to be okay. I tell you, you're all right. You know? No. I sometimes, you know, your faith waver, you know, with your faith will waver. But I really trust God. I will get down on those knees again and I would pray. And I would pray. And, you know, I believe this journey, God was with me all the way. Because sometimes, you know, you don't know. Because I said sometimes, you know, what is the purpose? Why am I here? But He has a purpose for me. From a long time ago, God knew what my purpose was, and He charted my course. And I think that, yeah, I still got some things to do for the Lord. So He's going to keep me going. I got some things to do, girl. I'm not done yet. He's not done with me yet. Right?
I believe that this is a part of your purpose. Living through cancer and able to talk about it.
Yes.
Because I'm sure that there are ladies out there, or even men, you know, listening that are coming up with this same sickness and infirmity. I call it infirmity, but sickness. And they have to deal with that. And I'm sure that your story and how you travel through it will encourage someone.
Yeah,
So it's amazing when we're going through the journey. You know, we wonder and we question, but then when we look back, we see purpose. Because here you are today, looking as good as ever.
Purpose.
29 years
later.
after, you know, cancer, and you have triumphed.
Yes.
Okay, and you're saying that, you know, yes, there will be battles, there will be trials, but you still stand strong in it because your faith is strong.
Yeah, my faith is strong. I really believe that I'm here for a purpose, and my purpose hasn't been fulfilled yet. I know that there are things I have to do for the Lord, and I am really looking forward to it. And I think I told Pastor Sandra when she asked me, it's still like about 25 years ago, I had a prophecy that I will speak to women. And I said, who, me? Because I speak fast and I stutter. And I cannot talk, so I am doing that. But when she didn't ask me, she told me. She don't ask you, she's telling you. She told me I'm going to speak, and I said, I have a luncheon to do that same day. She didn't listen to me. She just told me, yeah, I'm doing it. So I said, okay, if you said so, well. So I'm here.
I want to ask you, I guess, my final question, just about support systems. And the fact that you've walked through so many and have found so many great support systems in your life and in your journey. Are you a part of any now, assisting women who've gone through that process, or would you like to become a part
but you
of the
know,
system?
You know what? I have spoken to so many women in my work. People have come into the shop and people tell others about me, and they've come to the store. I've been speaking to women. I do speak to women about. I do it right in my store there. And I even take them to my bathroom and show them my breast that I had augmented. I show them my breast, and it's really good though, really good.
Just so you know.
God rest, He did a wonderful job. You will hardly ever tell.
Wow.
It's wonderful. He did a good job. So I have 2 babies now. One bigger than one though.
Thank you so much, Annette, for sharing your story with us so candidly. I do get the sense that we all feel so encouraged by your story and the fact that you are resilient and we can see you here. And there is hope for everyone who faces not only cancer as a sickness or even as an infirmity, but any form of sickness that can come up in anyone's life. They can take a page out of your book. They can take several pages out of your book, to be quite honest, in terms of just how you should face it and deal with it. You accept it, deal with it, and then you try your best to move forward in faith. And I appreciate that, and I take that as like my biggest takeaway here from you so far, Anna. And I know our viewers must be just taking so many notes on their own, because you definitely have shared an amazing testimony with us this evening.
You haven't even heard all of it.
Oh, there's more. Oh my goodness.
It's okay. It's been good. It's good. It's good being here. Like here. This is like, hey, this certainly is at my comfort zone, girl, let me tell you. But you all have put me at ease.
Yes. Well, let us put you at further ease, actually. We do have a bit of a surprise for you as our first guest on our first episode. We are gifting you.
Really?
Yes. We are gifting you a spa treatment.
Oh my goodness.
From this week's sponsor, the Healing Power of Touch Skincare Clinic and Spa. So that is for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And thank you so much to our viewers for joining us this evening on our very first episode of Women to Women. We want to say a special thank you to Overcomers Greens and Rentals for the plants you see here on set. They're beautiful and they are live. You can contact them at 429-1224 for any of your plant rental needs. Also, special thank you goes out to Passion Art Creations for the fabulous art that you see displayed here as our backdrop. You can also follow them on Facebook. They are at Passion Art Creations on Facebook and on Instagram as well, if you want to take a look at any more of their lovely pieces. And to you, our viewers, please stay tuned, because in our upcoming episodes, you can have the opportunity to receive one of the gifts from any of our sponsors. So we make sure that we're doing this not just for all of you to get good information, but you can get something super special as well when you join us here on Women to Women. So see you next time, and we hope you enjoy.